You guys still there? Here's some bonus footage. So welcome back to the sawmill, friends. We got a problem down here. Let me show you. This has been lingering for a long time. Problem is this battery powered chainsaw right here. This is a steel, I'm not sure what the model number is. I know the battery costs more than the actual saw does. But anyways, I use this at the sawmill every time I'm down here sawing, and I need somewhere to hang it up out of the way. Right now, when I'm not using it, I put it on that table or I lay it on the ground. I end up tripping over it, and that table's getting pretty crowded with the fan and my camera and all that stuff. So I found something on Amazon that I think might fix it, and that is this hanger right here. Not sponsored by this company. I have no idea who they are, but this had really good reviews, and it's 1/8 of an inch thick right there. It's pretty heavy duty. It's rated for 130 pounds, I think, or something like that. We're gonna hang this on that post right over there and see if that solves the problem. And this thing came with all the anchors and screws and all that stuff. I'm thinking right about there. What do you guys think? Is that gonna be high enough? I think so. That's about 5 feet or so off the ground. See if I can slide in here without moving this table out of the way. Making too much racket here for you guys. Let me make sure that's the middle of this post right here. I'm a stickler for stuff like that. See, it should be 3. No, it's not the middle. This thing came with 3 screws and 3 mounting holes. I don't think that's going to be necessary. I think 2 of these into the 6x6 will be plenty. Should be more than enough to hold it on there. There's 2 different ways to hang this. Right there, which is probably how I'll do it. But another option would be like that. I'm not too crazy about that, especially if there's bar oil, if I got a gas powered saw down here. Perfect, right there. I did bring one of my gas powered saws down here. Let's see how it does on this. I think it'll fit as well, and if it does, I think I'll order about 6 or 8 of these for the shop up there on the hill to hang all the chainsaws up and get them off the ground, or off the floor rather. My goodness, it's hot out here today. The high is 97. 97. I brought the old 400C down here. That's a nice saw right there. All right, see how this does with the old gas powered saw. Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty nice right there. I definitely think I'll be ordering some more of these for all the saws up at the shop. And guys, if you're interested in these, this is not sponsored. I bought this with my own money, but I did get it on Amazon. I'll leave a link down below. Did I mention it's hot out here today? My goodness, I'll tell you what. I'm looking forward to fall already. So first up on the sawmill today is a black walnut. This is an 8-footer, maybe 16 inches on the small end right there. We'll do some 4/4 boards on it. Let's throw it on the sawmill. Check this diesel real fast. I'm not sure how much we got in the tank. It's getting low. We better top it off. Real big thank you to everybody on Patreon. You guys are awesome, and you help me keep this diesel tank right here filled up, because it's getting low. Yep, it's less than a quarter right there, and this thing holds 110 gallons. Probably go fill this up this weekend. All right, guys, as far as the diameter goes, down here on the far end, 16 inches. Down here on the operator side, probably close to the same. Yep, 16 inches, no taper, good deal. As far as the length goes, it looks like an 8-footer. Yep, 8.5. And also, guys, let me throw this in here before I forget about it. I've started the process of running power down here to the pole barn. Let me show you. So Tuesday, I got an electrician coming out to look at my plan and see what it's going to cost. But we're thinking about putting the panel right here and the meter going underground to that pole way over there. That's probably maybe 200 feet or so. I want to do undergrounds, of course, so there's no wires overhead. And since I have an excavator, it's not too bad of a job. The only thing I got to pay for is the conduit and the fuel to run the excavator to dig the trench. And of course, you have to pay for the power, the meter. No, the meter is paid for by the power company, so scratch that. You got to pay for the conduit, you know, the fuel for the excavator, your power panel that goes over here, any outlets or switches or whatever you want to do while he's here. I'll probably do the minimal. I'll have him put just one switch and an outlet in and call it done, and do 200 amps here for the service. And then later on, I'll come in here and wire in the lights, the conveyor, and all that stuff. But I think it's going to be pretty doable. I think it's going to be too expensive. On a previous video, I talked about doing solar down here, but that ain't going to happen. This right here is 220. I think it's about 5 horsepower. This is the MP100 Wood-Mizer motor. I need to get this thing hooked up because I got some projects lined up this fall for it. And solar for something like this is probably doable if you want to spend a lot of money on a lot of panels. But for what I'm doing, I think I'll just run power over here and call it done. I could probably get power run over here, counting the conduit and everything, for maybe $1,500, maybe $2,000, something like that. Shouldn't be too bad. Keyword is shouldn't be. He'll probably give me a quote of $5,000 now that I said that. I'll let you guys know here in a few days how that goes. On the Sawmill, we got a Joe Maine Silver Tip Turbo 7. If you guys want to try those blades out, call Joe Maine. His cell phone number is in the video description. All right, guys, on this log, we're doing 4/4, 1/8 on the thickness, as wide as I can go, and try to get rid of all the bark. But we may have to run a few of these through the edger, I'm not sure. Have to see how it goes. All right, guys, that didn't take too long. I got right at 72 board feet out of that log. Some decent 12-inch wide boards right here. Sapwood is not too bad, but I wish it wasn't there. Normally I would edge these off. I think I'll just leave them on there for now. And if they don't sell when they come out of the kiln, I could always run them through the edger and clean them up just a little bit more. But these are kind of low grade right here. Got some knots going on, some wormholes. You know, it gives it character. Some people like it, some people don't. A little bit of figure right there. Not too bad. Some pretty good walnut right there. Let's get it stacked up. And real fast here, friends, this is a great example of walnut that's been setting for a few days right there. We sawed that yesterday, and walnut fresh off the mill. Check that out. Look at the difference in color right there. Within probably an hour or two, this walnut will have the same color as that one right there. Totally different color when it comes off the mill. It's a lot lighter. Does not have that dark color at all. But as soon as it starts air drying, it only takes it a few hours to start looking like that. Check that out. What a difference it makes, I tell you. I started Sawmill in 2011, and the first log I ever put on my sawmill was a black walnut. I know that's a shocker, ain't it? I remember I bought it from a guy. I bought several off this guy. He was a local farmer. I cut the first one open, and it looked just like this, and I thought to myself, well, that's not walnut. That guy done me wrong right there. He sold me something different. So I went down to the house, ate some dinner, went back up about an hour later, and sure enough, it had turned to that darker color. I'm just glad I didn't call him and fuss at him over that. I'd look like a fool. And if anybody out there is needing any really nice kiln-dried black walnut, I should have some really nice 4/4 boards coming out of the kiln, probably around September or October. I'll let this stuff air dry to at least 25 or 20% or less before I put it in the kiln. I could put this in the kiln green, but it will take 30 days to dry. If I let it air dry first, which is free, I can put it in the kiln once it gets below 20 to 25%, and it takes about 2 weeks, sometimes 10 days or so. It's a whole lot cheaper if you do that. When it comes to kiln drying, the worst stuff will happen with your lumber between green, which means fresh off the mill, and about 20 to 25% moisture content. Once you get it air dried down to about 20 or 25, it's kind of hard to mess it up. And that's one reason I like to air dry it first, and it's a lot cheaper. I can run 2 loads a month in the kiln of air dried lumber, and if I put it in there green, I can only do 1.
Abraham was scared to die, forsook his wife.
All right, guys, next up, another black walnut, pretty low grade. See if I can measure this without dropping the camera. Just about 15 inches right there. When you don't count the bark, it's actually about 14 or so. Got some ants moving around right there. Probably a lot of those guys hiding under the bark. So this is 8-footer, 4/4 boards. Pretty low grade though, guys, nothing great right here. I mean, it's black walnut, so we'll get some decent boards out of it. It comes to a log like this, a sawyer does not get excited about it, but it needs to be sawed up. It's too good for firewood. And also, guys, Some of y'all been noticing my window down here at my office, and I tell you what, guys, this is one of the reasons I wanted the sawmill over here on this side of the barn. Check out that view right there. That is fantastic right there. And I'm truly grateful for it. I tell you what, can't beat it. And also, guys, I just got off the phone with the barn builder because we're going to be extending this barn here in about 4 weeks, something like that. Depends on when the materials arrive. They had to order some beams. But let me show you the overall plan, then we'll get to this walnut right here. All right, so here's what we're going to do. The lean-to is not going to get extended just yet. I may do that later on, but not right now. We're going 24 feet that way, the full width, which is 40 feet on the width. The gable on this end, though, will come all the way down, kind of be a triangle right there. This is a high gable, they call them. This one will be a finished gable on the new end. But 24 feet that way, that would give this building a footprint of 96 by 54, something like that. And there's something going to be pretty unique about this extension. Instead of having a post every 12 foot, this is 24 foot right here. You got a post in the middle. This extension will have a bar joist on both sides, so the openings will be 24 foot wide on both ends with an 8x8 post on the corners. It's going to be really nice, especially for the new machine that will be here in September that will be going on that wall right there. This will be really nice. Should have this done by the end of August at the latest. So friends, a quick update on the conveyor and the hopper. It's working out really, really good. I tell you what, I wish I'd have had this a long time ago. This is fantastic, and I like this a lot better than a dust collector. I think this works a lot better, and it's not as loud. All right, friends, it looks like I'm done for the day. I gotta get on the mower and do some mowing. And I've also got to do some weed eating. I'll tell you what, I hate the thought of that. But it's got to be done. It ain't gonna do itself. My lawn care guy quit on me last week. I don't have a lawn care guy. I'm just messing with you guys. I do all the mowing here, all the maintenance, etc., etc. It's all on me, and that's the way I like it. So anyways, guys, I think I'm going to get on it, see if I get this mowing done, and maybe grab some dinner. I think we're having pulled pork tonight. It's one of my favorite things to eat. I love pulled pork sandwiches. Hard to beat. So we're closing here, guys. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I think we got about 60 board feet out of that last walnut log. I don't know if I told you guys about that or not. I think right at 60 board feet. The Doyle scale was calling for, I think, 48 or 50, something like that. Those smaller diameter logs on the Doyle scale usually come out pretty good on them as long as you have a bandsaw. If you got a circle mill, you come out about even because you got that 1/4 inch curve, and sometimes thicker than that. Depends on what kind of saw you got. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks to everybody on Patreon for supporting me here on the channel. I really appreciate that as well. There's links down below to Patreon in case you're interested. There's also a link to that chainsaw hanger over there that works out really good. I'm gonna order some more of those here tonight probably for the shop up there on the hill. And I need to name all these buildings. I'll tell you what, I need to do that. I got a barn, a shop, a timber frame, etc., etc. I need to put a name on them. That way you guys know what I'm talking about. So anyways, I'll have to think on that later. Once again, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. And you guys hang in there. Somebody in the last video said quit stepping up to the screen like that. I think I'll do it more often now. You guys have a good one. You guys still there? Here's some bonus footage. Let me answer another question that I get in just about every video nowadays. So that question is about the barn. Why do you have that layout like that? Because you got all that space in the middle and you can't do nothing with it. Well, guys, I like for this space to be wide open so I don't clutter it for one, and I can take logs to the mill. I can take wood over here on pallets to the lean-to, which is where I'm stacking all that stuff up for air drying. And in each lean-to bay, I can actually go 3 pallets back, 1, 2, 3 if I need to, and pretty much as high as I can reach with the skid steer. I could probably put maybe 3,000 board feet in each of these lean-tos right here. And this one's gonna be getting freed up as soon as the power gets down here and the MP100 gets started, my goodness. And I get to finally get that thing assembled and start to use it. So if you think about it, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 bays, because the log splitter is going over here beside the conveyor. If I can just get around to doing it, that's 12,000 board feet I can stack in here. That's a lot of lumber. And that's why I got this wide open here in the middle. I got my nice window right there in the background. You can't beat it. And there's no clutter in here. And if I need to get out of the rain on the tractor, I can pull in here real fast, or the lawnmower, and I'm good to go. I've also got the big tractor parked in here as well. There's plenty of room down here. And when we do the expansion here in a few weeks and go 24 feet that way, the new machine's gonna be over here, but all this is gonna be wide open as well. Can't wait. So for those of you that stuck around, there's your bonus footage, and I answered that question. You guys hang in there, and I'll see you soon.